Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Mark Slevcove. This week, we're going to recap last week's exciting finishes, right? We got some teams get into the playoffs, and then we're going to look to the preview of this week's CIF playoff games. Coach, there's a ton of games going on, not just here, but throughout the district. Winter, extremely busy right now. A lot on tap. Before we get to the CIF playoff games, let's go backward to last week. The Centurion boys needed a win to get assured, hopefully, a playoff spot with some losses and such. And then the girls basketball team were looking to go undefeated in league. Girls soccer, boys soccer, I think when we filmed, they were pretty much done. They were off. They were on a bye. Yeah, they were on a bye, so they kind of knew where they were. So fill us in on boys and girls basketball. Let us know. I think water polo played too, and water polo will be playing this week. So fill us in on that, and then we'll get to some previews of the games for this week.
All right, so girls basketball did go undefeated in league, so they won the league championship going 8-0. Boys basketball needed a victory over Foothill on Tuesday night last week, coupled with a La Habra victory over Canyon. Both of those things happened, so our boys took third by themselves in the league, which automatically qualifies them for CIF playoffs in the third toughest league in all of the southern section, behind the Mission League and the Trinity League. So pretty impressive feat on that.
Side note on that, unlike last year where we had to go to the playoff game, Canyon won and we didn't get in, Canyon was still able to get into the playoffs.
That's true. Canyon still got in as an at-large team.
Yeah, they still got in. So
they got it. They went down to Division II.
Yep.
Mater Dei went down to Division II.
Yeah,
Servi went down to Division II.
Last time we see Mater Dei there.
So somehow that happened. So last year we tied for second and didn't get into the playoffs because of the tiebreakers. Right. This year we're third by ourselves. Boys soccer ended up second in league, and girls soccer won their league, even though they didn't have to play last week. We had our wrestlers go to league finals last week, so I think we have 5 boys and 9 girls advancing to CIF individual regionals this week. If they can advance past that, then they go to Masters. If they get past that, then to state. So one step at a time, but they'll be busy on Saturday this week. Our Spirit Squad had a big send-off for their nationals on Friday night. So great performances as they prepare for song heading out to Florida, and then cheer performing in nationals as well locally. So a lot happening. And now we are into the playoffs. Girls water polo had their first round last week. Today on Tuesday, as we record this, they're going to be taking on La Cañada, the number 4 seed in the division. We're the 13 seed. Pretty even matchup in terms of their rankings across California, but you never know with the teams they play. The competition level, they're 9-15. We're 15-9, yet they're ranked higher than us. So certainly it comes down to who you play.
And we've beaten that, down the CIF rankings and how it's done. We do know that goals scored, goals against for them, they've scored a little bit less than what they've given up. And again, that could be because of the league they're in. I wouldn't say it's a huge offset game, right? It's not like they're the number 1 seed and you're the last seed and you're like, man, I hope we can survive. On paper, it sounds like this could be a pretty close matchup throughout the game.
For sure. It's Division 4, so they're the 4 seed, we're the 13, but overall in Southern Section, they're 126 and we're 143. So we're all grouped in the same quadrant of teams. So.
Yeah, when you look at as many teams we have in the Southern Section, when you're apart in those rankings by 20 to 25, there's really not a lot of separation.
Right.
If you're apart by 100 or whatever, there's a bigger separation, but there's not really that giant separation. Now, the boys soccer team will play on Wednesday here at home, and they got not necessarily a familiar foe, but a familiar name. They're going to play Loera another district school, and Loera will travel down the street here and play on our turf field on Wednesday night. So what do we got for that matchup?
For sure. Congrats to Coach Anton turning this thing around with boys soccer 2 years in a row. Move up to the Middle League this year. We finished second in the Middle League of the Century Conference. Make the playoffs again. Last year we went to the quarterfinals. This year we're in Division 4 taking on Loera, who is the 5 seed. Another one of these things where they're the 5 seed. We're the 26 seed, but our records are pretty comparable. We played more games than them, so however that works out, we'll find out. That's why we play the game. But they're a second place team in the Orange League, 9-5 overall.
And I've seen those leagues, right? In the Cypress League, that they're in the Middle League. It's very competitive, very good. The Orange League part there is actually pretty competitive. Mm-hmm. So it's not, when you hear Orange League, sometimes it's Orange League, but Orange League soccer is a little better than some of the other sports. So that game, again, nice to have the home game. A little weird that the 20-something seed gets the home game over the whatever they are, 5 seed, but yeah, it's nice to have the home game on this one.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not right. We got to check our facts on that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on that one. All right, girls soccer. Girls soccer opened up with Bonita. Bonita's historically been a pretty good sports school. I think we've played them a few times in playoffs in different sports. So I would imagine that they're going to be a pretty solid team. Again, probably going to be a fairly close game, maybe one of the closer matched up games as far as rankings and things go.
Well, our softball team will remember Bonita because they had an epic comeback against them a couple years ago in the playoffs. I think 6 or 7 runs in the 7th inning to win that game. But I would expect this to be a pretty even matchup. And in soccer, it's always an even matchup, right? It's one goal. It's one lucky bounce. It's one header. But Bonita's got some firepower. They've scored 54 goals over the course of the year. We scored 32. So they could put the ball in the net a little bit more, but they've given up more goals. We've only given up 18. So I imagine it's going to be a close matchup, and the rankings suggest that. In California, Bonita's 111, Cypress is 112. Southern section, Bonita's 48, we're 49. So it can't get any closer than that.
Yeah. And so again, Bonita with the higher rankings in both, they have the home game.
Well, that's Max Preps. That's Max Preps.
Yeah, they don't have the one. That one's going to be at Cypress as well.
We're just ahead of them.
So we'll see how that one plays out. And then we go to girls basketball. Now, girls basketball is going to travel to Oxnard, and we're familiar with that drive. We did it for basketball years back, and it's not close. I mean, it's far. And high school students, I always say, we're just not used to making those long travel days and playing a game. We don't do it enough. And so I always see that as something that can be a pretty tough thing to overcome. It changes your whole focus. It changes how you normally do things. You know, so maybe the longest trips we're taking are an hour, let's say, with some traffic. We're looking at a few hours to get there. This is not going to be a close thing. Maybe a stop in between. Then you got to get out. You're tired after being on the bus. You've got to get yourself ready to play a game. And sometimes, man, you're getting there closer to game time than you want. There's that nervousness. That's a tough one to overcome. They are ranked a little bit ahead of us. Again, not by a huge amount per se, but they are ranked ahead of us.
Yeah, they're the 3 seed in the CIF rankings in this division. We're the 29 seed. So there is a discrepancy there. Their record 17-11. We're 16-12. We won our league. They came in 4th place in their league. So certainly the strength of leagues could play a factor. But anytime you got to go on the road trip, anytime you got to get through LA, it always throws you for a loop, right? Are you just going for a fun bus ride? We're just going to have fun. We're just going to have an awesome day. Or are we going to win a ball game, right? Hopefully we can stay focused, and we're going there on a business trip to go win a game, and then we can enjoy the bus ride home if we play well.
Yeah, and you guys are excusing them for Friday? They don't have to come to school?
Well, they'll be back in plenty of time. They'll be home by 10:30. They'll go right to bed, and they'll be ready to go on Friday morning.
They don't go to bed at that time anyway, so they'll be good. And now the boys. So the boys get in, which is great. Again, that worry of, man, are we going to get in? If we lose that game, don't have to worry about that. They win the game. La Habra beats Canyon. Cypress is in. They're going to go to San Gabriel Academy. I'll be honest, I don't know much about them. Small school, I would imagine. They play at a junior high, their games, so they probably don't have any like huge campus or something like that. You made some references to schools around us, but we don't really even play those schools, so it's kind of hard to know. I'm sure there's some trading of films and getting some idea of what it is. They have some rankings a little bit ahead of us, but this one, again, on paper, sounds like it should be a tough matchup for both teams. It should be a close game. They're going to have to handle our pressure. I don't know what they do, and the way we run. That's definitely, if they haven't seen that, that's going to be something for them to adjust to, and that can take some time. And if you try to run up and down the court with Cypress, I think you play into our hands a little bit, and we'll wear you down. So I'm not sure what kind of team they are, but.
Well, I think they got size. I think they're big, but then they got to play our guards, and that's a huge discrepancy. So whoever ultimately ends up with the advantage, if they can stick with our guards or if we can defend their big guys, will probably determine the game. This is a neat one because this is Division I. So we have the Open Division, which they take the 12 best. And then after that, we're Division I. So overall, out of 500 and something schools in all of the southern section, our little boys basketball team is 32nd ranked out of 500 and something schools. So we are at the very top of the southern section in Division I. We do have one common opponent with San Gabriel Academy. We both played Fairmont Prep. They played them twice. They split with them 1-1. We beat them by 10 points. So for whatever that's worth. Not much, but there is a commonality there with one opponent. They're the 13 seed. We're the 20 seed within Division I. And then if we win, we got a home game on Friday night. Whoever we play, we have the advantage of being at home on Friday night for either opponent. So obviously can't get ahead of ourselves, but go play well, get a win at San Gabriel Academy, which is being played at the middle school across the street. And if that happens, Coach Mitchell is gonna tie the all-time school record for head coaching victories in boys basketball with yourself.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch you with one more victory.
Let's hope he gets the win tomorrow, and then we can celebrate maybe a victory on Friday and him breaking a record. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. 245 victories so far for him, so he's one away from tying your record.
Friday will beat St. Francis or Rancho Christian. Those are not two slouches of teams.
There's no slouches in this one.
They're usually very, very good. Again, I don't know much about San Gabriel, but those two, I've heard about them. So they're going to be good. And then as you move along, it just
but we can compete.
We
can compete in this bracket. You know, we've played teams that are in here.
Played Milliken type teams. Thousand Oaks will be good.
Yeah, we've beaten La Habra. We've beaten Fairmont Prep. We beat Los Alamitos. We beat Orange Lutheran.
Those are all on the bottom, Coach. We don't get to play them.
Yeah, we don't get there yet. I'm just saying we can compete with these teams. We belong right with them.
Of course. Well, we got Green Lutheran as the number one. Green Lutheran was the number one seed, and we played them twice and battled. So it's not like we can't play with all those schools. So it'll be exciting games. Hopefully we can get a victory. Let's just one at a time, right? Win one. Let's get the win.
Win one, and let's
get the win on Wednesday night, and then we'll focus on the next one. So lots going on. Check your schedules online in case there's any tweaks in game times, things like that. And then get out this week. Get out and check out some CIF games and support the teams the best you can. Right?
That's right. Let's do it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks to our sponsors, Coach's Corner and POB Industries, for supporting the show. And hopefully we'll be back next week with a great report. I think next week we got when does Song leave for their nationals?
They leave this week.
They leave this week, so we'll be able to get a report, or they?
Yeah, we'll get a report. They'll be back on Monday or something like that.
Yeah, so maybe we get the report back. I think they're scheduled for next week. Get a report back on how they do in nationals. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week.